Spring has finally sprung, and I have been enjoying being out in the new greenhouse and doing all the spring things. But one of the things that changes the most for me this time of year is what I want to eat for breakfast. I don't want any hearty oatmeal. I don't want any cheese grits or anything heavy. I want beautiful spring breakfast. So I'm sharing with you today 3 spring breakfasts that you can enjoy that are also easy to make. This spring breakfast salad is really an anchor for a brunch or any breakfast that you are serving. And that's because it's a little bit different than your regular breakfast foods, and it pairs really nicely with sweet sides because it is savory. Now for this, you can use any vegetables that you want. And of course, since it's a spring salad, anything springy. In fact, I had some peas for this and they fell out of the bag in the back of my car and I didn't know and they went bad. So I'm not using peas, but I am featuring cauliflower for this instead. So first what I did is I diced up some red onion and sauteed it. And normally I don't really like to cook red onion, but since I'm pairing this with some sweet sides, I don't want the hot bite of red onion. I'm also roasting some bite-sized cauliflower, and I'm keeping the seasoning really simple here because I really want to feature the herbs in the dressing, which I'll show you in just a minute. So I just put them on a hot stone and I drizzled them with a little olive oil and sprinkled with salt and pepper. And then I'm just roasting them until they are cooked through and even a little brown on top. If you have been watching my YouTube channel lately, you probably have seen that my greenhouse is finally up and running. At the time of recording this, my herbs were in the greenhouse, but it's actually too hot now and they are officially in the raised bed. But at the time of recording this, I ran out to the greenhouse, trimmed off some fresh basil and fresh dill, and I lightly chopped it along with some minced garlic for a fresh herb dressing for this spring breakfast salad. I'm adding in a little bit of white wine vinegar, some olive oil, and about half of a lemon squeezed fresh into the dressing. Now, just as a fair warning, every recipe in this video has fresh lemon in it. So if you plan on serving this full spread for a small get-together or for your family or brunch, grab yourself like 3 or 4 lemons because you are going to need them. The fresh herbs and the fresh lemon in here really brighten up this salad for spring, and it is so good. So I'm mixing this together. Now you could stop right here if you like those chunky herbs, but I actually want to blend it a little bit. So I threw it in my NutriBullet and gave it a little blend. I found the first time it needed a little bit more oil just to blend up, but I do want to note that what I'm not doing is liquefying this. I am giving it a little bit of a pulse, but I want some of those herbs to stay intact for the aesthetic of the salad and also for the flavor and the texture. Anytime I blended herbs too much, they get almost neon green, which is kind of pretty, but I want to keep that dark, rich green for a spring salad. Once the cauliflower is done, I'm setting it aside just to let it cool. Now, I really like the combo of cool lettuce and warm toppings on a salad, but I don't want to cook the lettuce. And now for the breakfast part, I'm frying an egg. And you can make an egg however you want for the salad, but I will say, if you like a runny yolk, when that yolk combines with that homemade herb dressing, it is so rich and so delicious. When I'm dressing a salad, I first like to take the dressing and just spread it around the bottom and the sides of the bowl. And then I take the greens and just kind of turn them around in there. So the bottom of the salad has dressing on it. And then you just need to drizzle a little on top. Of course, you can add as much dressing as you like, but this really shines with just a hint of that lemon and herb flavor mixed with the egg yolk. It's so good. I also added some sliced avocado and broccoli sprouts. I think microgreens would be really good on here too. You can add anything that you want on this salad and it is delicious. I don't know which is the more quintessential spring food, fresh herbs or fresh strawberries, but luckily we have both here. So I am making a sourdough Dutch baby pancake. I have made a number of Dutch babies in the past, and I found that almost every Dutch baby recipe, whether it's sourdough or not, is just about the same. But one of the things that I don't like about Dutch babies is once all the fun magic of the bubbles begin to deflate, it's just this thin crepe-like thing. And I like crepes, but I just want something more substantial. So I made this recipe a little bit different so that it has the flavor of the Dutch baby, but it's a little bit thicker like an actual pancake. So I just simply washed and sliced up some fresh strawberries and washed blueberries, and now I am mixing together the Dutch baby pancake ingredients. In a large bowl, I'm mixing together melted butter, some whole milk. The milk should really be room temperature. Mine was still a little bit too cool and it kind of messed up my melted butter. So try to let yours get down to room temperature because it will work better. And then with that, I am also combining sourdough starter. So you can use active or inactive sourdough discard because this doesn't rely on the discard for leavening. In fact, there is no leavening at all in this recipe. So feel free to use whatever you have on hand. If it's been a minute since you fed your starter, it might be a little more sour. So if that's not what you're going for, then I would plan to feed your starter the day before and then use that discard the next day. But either way, it will be fine. Now I'm also adding in some fresh eggs. And to mix these in, I really like to use my Danish dough whisk. So they are really made for thick ingredients. And I tried a regular whisk at first and all my ingredients got stuck in there. So I do recommend a Danish dough whisk for this or a fork. Now I'm mixing in some vanilla and a little bit of salt and giving it a whirl, and then I'm getting a 9-inch cast iron skillet preheated and putting some butter in it. And this is what makes it more of a pancake than a traditional Dutch baby. The big skillets will leave a lot of room for that batter to spread and then to bubble up and rise, but when you use a smaller skillet, it's a little bit thicker and it doesn't quite bubble up as much. And I think personally it might not make for quite such a fancy Dutch baby pancake, but it makes for a better one. So the other thing about a Dutch baby pancake is you need a lot of butter in that pan. So put a couple tablespoons of butter in there, swirl it around. You can even pop it in the oven to brown and then add your batter and bake it for about 25 minutes. Because this is thicker, it took a little bit longer, so I would count on about 25 to 30 minutes if you're using a 9-inch skillet. Then I'm simply going to top this with those beautiful spring berries, a little bit of fresh lemon juice, powdered sugar, and maple syrup. This pairs really nicely with the breakfast salad. However, this is also really good on its own. So if you're not having brunch, if you're like, I'm just making this for my family like I did, I in fact was not making brunch this day, you can make this and it is a great filling breakfast for your family. Those eggs add a lot of protein, so this is a really great meal in lieu of a regular pancake. Last up on the spring breakfast menu today are sourdough lemon blueberry muffins. Now, this is not my recipe. I think this is actually from maybe Sourdough Rebel. I'll leave a link in the description box below, but I got this from the Moon and Magnolia sourdough Facebook group. So I have a free 30-page ebook that you can get in the link in the description box below. And when you download that ebook, you also are added to a free private Facebook group, the Moon and Magnolia sourdough support group, and we post recipes and tips and tricks there. So I got this recipe from there. But anyway, so here I am making a crumb topping that goes on the muffins. It is a combination of sugar, lemon zest, and some flour. And then I'm just mixing it up and popping in the fridge to chill while I get the actual muffins going. I've talked about this a lot on YouTube, but I prefer to weigh my ingredients when I bake because weighing is a little bit more precise, but more than that, it's less cleanup. So instead of having a ton of different measuring cups and bowls that I have to deal with, it's just one, or in this case, it's 2 bowls that I just weigh all the ingredients in. and I don't have to worry about as much cleanup. So this recipe is basically like any other muffin recipe you've ever had. You mix together the dry ingredients first, but what I like about this one is once you get the dry ingredients mixed in, you then fold the blueberries into the dry ingredients first. And I have heard that when you do that, or if you at least coat your fruit in flour first before putting it into the wet ingredients, they are less likely to sink to the bottom of your muffins. I don't know if that's 100% true. I heard that somewhere on YouTube, but it seems like they did a little bit better this way. So I would recommend folding your blueberries in this way. Also, the Danish dough whisk, again, I'm back on this, is really helpful for folding in fruit because it doesn't crush it. So the fruit can pass right through it rather than getting broken up and split by a fork or a regular whisk. Like the Dutch baby recipe, you can use active or inactive discard for this. I am using active discard because that's what I had on hand. So I am mixing that in with the eggs. And anytime I've made any discard recipes like this, I found it easiest to mix the eggs and the discard together first because that egg is an emulsifier and it'll help mix that up and then add in my other ingredients. Now my camera was a little off focus here, I'm sorry, but in the background, I'm adding in sour cream, avocado oil, and I'm using some heavy whipping cream because that's what I had on hand. But you could use whole milk, half and half, whatever you want, you can put in there. It's really good with the heavy cream, though, I'm just going to be honest. And now I'm also mixing in some vanilla and fresh squeezed lemon juice. I just add a little bit of vanilla. I used to just pour vanilla like there was no tomorrow, but my tastes have changed for that. So I'm adding in about a teaspoon of vanilla. And now I am just adding in some fresh lemon zest and mixing it up. I recommend folding this into your dry ingredients in 2 or 3 parts. So put a little bit in, mix it in with the flour, put a little bit more in and mix it up with the flour. So that way you are not overworking those dry ingredients and you're not having to stir so hard that you break the blueberries. For aesthetics, I use these brown tulip cupcake or muffin liners. And I have to be honest with you, I was a little skeptical about them in the beginning because I felt like they were falling apart and they were too high for the muffin tin, but they actually worked really well and they're a lot prettier than just your standard muffin liners or cupcake liners. So I'll leave a link for those in the description box below. That's a really easy way to elevate your muffins. Then I am just sprinkling the top with that crumb filling. This got pretty stiff in the refrigerator, so I would put it in there to help it hold its shape, but just be prepared to use a fork and kind of mix it up because it was a little hard to get out of the bowl. Then of course I'm just baking these at 375. I think this was about 30 minutes or so. I can't quite remember, but 35 minutes. Not only were these beautiful, they were also delicious, and they pair nicely with the other recipes in this video. Now, of course, you can serve all of these together for a beautiful brunch, but these also work really well as quick individual spring breakfasts for you and your family. Thank you so much for tuning into Moon and Magnolia's YouTube channel, where we elevate the everyday from scratch and at home, and I'll see you again next time.